Hey guys, welcome back to Frances Quilts. If you joined us last week on Free Motion Friday, we did a wonky grid design that was just a lot of fun and real easy to do. But I started thinking about where all of this grid work started from, and it actually began at the International Quilt Festival at Houston last November. And I met a woman and went to a class by a woman called Sue Hines, and she has this book. This is one of her books called Philharmonics. I'll leave a link in the show notes as to where you can buy this. This is a great book that gives you lots of ways to do grid quilting, whether on a straight grid like we've been doing over the last couple months, or using a round circular grid. Now, I found that the grid quilting was harder than I thought. If you go back to the very first one of these videos that I did, it was much harder than I thought it was going to be. So I kind of really dreaded doing these circle designs. But today I started playing with them, and you know what? They're a lot of fun. What I didn't show you on camera today was the preparing of this fabric to get it ready for this circular grid quilting. I did use a tool that I found on Amazon. I'll leave a link to that to draw the circles. This was a 7-inch circle, and then I put a couple of other circles inside it as my guidelines. So let's just go and have a look. The design that I'm going to do is called Feather Duster, and let me just see if I can show it to you here. We're going to work it in 3 rounds. Here, we're going to alternate, we're going to do it then here, and then we're going to alternate again and do it in there. Obviously this little one right here is going to be very small, so I'm going to save it for last. I think most people would start in the middle and work out. I'm going to do it just the opposite. So I'm going to come along here, and I'm going to swoop up to here, and I'm going to do a loop, and I'm going to swoop back down. When I get down here, I'm going to do 3 loops. One here, one to this side, and one to this side. And then I'm going to repeat. Whoops, making my loop there. Let's just see. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to really concentrate, but let's play with it and see how it goes. Alrighty, let's give this a try. Step 1 is going to be swooping from here up to here. Then I'm going to make a circle right here, or a teardrop, and then I'm going to swoop back down to there. Let's do that. Swoop up. Make a teardrop, or a circle as the case may be, and then swoop back down. Alright, that was easy enough to do. Now the next step is to come here, and we're going to make 3 loops. One here, and one here. I like to do my center loop first because that just tells me where I'm placing everything else. So let's do that. Come up and teardrop down. And then I'm going to do another one right here. I'm going to try to echo along that line that I've just quilted there. I don't want to have another line there if I can keep from it. Now let's come out and do another teardrop here. Alright, that's okay too. Now since I can, I'm going to turn this, and while I'm learning how to do this, I think I will keep it turned. So now the next one is going to be a swoop from here to here. Again, I want to miss that line, so that tells me probably next time I need to maybe make that not quite as curved in there, so I don't have to worry about hitting that line when I'm coming up. Up, swoop, back down. 3 loops here. That's better. This built up in my head that it was going to be really, really, really hard to do, but so far so good. Let's go ahead and turn this just so you can see what I'm doing here as well, and honestly it's easier for me. So let's go again. All right, that first round is done. And as I said, I had it built up in my head that it's going to be really hard to do, but I kind of like it so far, so we'll keep going. We're going to do the exact same thing on this next one, except the first, we're going to offset it. So where it started here, this one is going to start here. So it's going to swoop up and do a loop and come back down. Now, so I don't have to break thread, I'm going to start with the loop. So I'm going to be right here on this point. I'm going to do my loop here and then back down and just do everything the same way that I'd done it before, except just a little bit smaller. All right, at this point I need to swoop back up here to connect in, but if I do that, that's going to put me where I have to break thread. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and do this next one down here at the bottom. Now this last little section here is going to be really, really tight, as you can see. So I'm going to have to be very careful and really concentrate on keeping my stitches small. So let's see how we go. We're going to start with the swoop. Interestingly, I had set out here that I like to do this center loop first and then do these others two, but I'm finding down here it's actually easier to do them in the order that I get to them. So when I finish this one, do this one, and this one. It's helping me to keep them a little more consistent. It might be the same when I get to these out here again. All right, before I finish this, because I have this swoop out here to finish, to complete it, and then I have this swoop over here to complete, I want to put something in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then come back to finish this last little part. And all I'm going to do in here is just a circle. Then you know what? To be something different, I think I'm just going to put loops in on each one of these lines. So I'm just going to have it come down like this and like this. So it's just going to be a starbursty sort of sunflower looking thing in the center. Let me find my first line to do it on. I guess it's that one right there. Let's see how it goes. Whoops, did that wrong. I should have done them when I got down to here. Then I did the next one. And then the next one. I should not have gone back up until I finished the whole thing. A little bit hard to see those lines. Here. So now let's finish this part on this inner row. Up to there and attach into that little teardrop thing I had, and then I come right there and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to follow it here and attach into this one. I think I'm done. Oh my gosh, y'all. I had built this up in my head that it was going to be extremely hard to do. But look, it really looks great, and honestly, it was not that hard. So let me go get rid of these lines and we'll see what it looks like. I really, really, really like this. That is fabulous. I'm so glad that I finally worked through some of those feelings of angst that I had about this design and about doing some of these circular ones and gave this a try. I think there are going to be more of these in my future. How about you? Wow, that was so easy, and I absolutely love how it looks. So this is something I've been putting off trying because I thought it was too hard, and come to find out when you break it down into those little steps, it's so much easier to do. I had a marvelous time quilting this design, and I hope you will try something like that as well. Be sure and check out the show notes for information about this quilt, which is 12 ways to quilt a sawtooth star. And be sure and also check out my course, Keeping It Straight, 8 ways to use a straight edge ruler. Thank you for joining me here today, and I look forward to seeing you next week on Frances Quilts.
Remember, if you like what you've seen, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please check out my website and daily blog at francesquilts.com, and I can be found on Facebook and Instagram at Frances Quilts. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope to see you again soon.